Welcome to A Troubled Shared, a podcast where two comedians try and heal the world, one of your problems at a time, one of your troubles. Let's keep on brand. I'm Johnny Cochrane and I'm not here alone. I'm here with someone who never goes looking for trouble, yet it's never far away. Twayna Mayne. How you doing, Twayna?
Johnny Cochrane, I am fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Loving doing this podcast. You know, it's therapy at the end of the day. You know, it seems to be. And yes, I have seen a fly buzzing around on your screen there.
Just trying to be discreet.
You've got a fly trying to get some airtime. I love that. Are you currently recording next to a garbage bin? Is that the vibe?
Yeah, just sitting here in a swamp, southeast London. No, I don't want to knock it. No. Don't know. There's a fly, Johnny. I don't know. The property is clean. It's shaming me. What the hell?
The human version of Oscar the Grouch. There we go. Yeah. Now, Twayna, as always, we like to start with one of our troubles. I'm going to jump into it. Listen, I am currently recording in what I would like to call my office, but it's been somewhat taken over by my young children, and there's Lego everywhere. It looks quite clean here. But actually, just off, this is like, you know, the visual version of a swan. I look graceful up top. It's chaos off screen. There's Legos. There's all sorts of mess. That's my trouble for today. What do you reckon I should do to get us started?
What do you mean, get us started?
For your life troubles.
I'm more interested in those toys behind you, Johnny. Whose are they? Yours or your kids?
You know, this is why you're on the pod, Twayna, because you have that acerbic kind of wit and eye for detail, and you've noticed something in the background, and you've come with a pertinent question. Yes, one of those, the Lewis Hamilton Formula One car, that's mine. I can't even blame that on the kids. You know, that actually is the Batmobile is my son's, but
it was yours.
I've got into Lego via them, and now I'm quite proud of some of my creations, if I'm honest. So I can't blame all the Lego mess on them. A little bit of it's mine, but mostly them. What can I say? Twayna, should we get into solving some people's troubles?
Let's do it, Johnny. I'm ready.
Right, here we go. First up, after 12 years together, I fear my relationship has run its course. I'm a 58-year-old man, and my partner is 55. I hate to say it, but I find her boring. Nothing has happened, but the relationship has simply become stale. There's hardly any intimacy anymore, and we have nothing to talk about. We don't have any children, so there's nothing tying us together. You know, not the 12 years or anything. It's heartbreaking because we used to be so close and in love, but we're definitely going in different directions. She is all about our cats and staying in, whereas I just want to get out with the dogs. Woof, woof. Dog pound. Is there any way to stop us drifting apart, or should I just give up and let the relationship go? What do you reckon, Twayna?
I'm a bit worried about these animal references. That's what I'm a bit worried about. It's just like, why it's all about the pets, and like you see your wife as your partner as a cat. Whereas it's like you're both humans, yeah? Both humans who are drifting apart. One of you's not a cat, one of you's not a dog. Firstly, that's what we need to sort out. That's all I've got to say at this moment, Johnny. You give me a bit of info and then I'll have a bit more of a think.
I agree. I mean, the fact that it is instructive that he has tried to show that they are somewhat on different wavelengths. But yeah, you know, the idea that these are worlds that are so diametrically opposed, you know, you can't just see yourself together because she likes cats and you like dogs. What fucking, she likes cheese and onion crisps and you like salt and vinegar. Get on with it, mate. I mean, unless he is talking more and like, you know, and we're down with street lingo, and you might refer to your brethren on road as your dogs. Do you know what I mean? So he might be 58 years old, but he just wants to get out with the dogs. Oh, yeah, I mean, dog pound and all that. But I suspect that's not what it is. He's probably talking about taking his whippet over the park. Yeah. You know what I mean? And she's just in there.
She wants to nest. She wants to sit down and nest and wants a quiet night in, whereas he wants to just go roaming. It's like, well, meet each other halfway. This is what it's all about. Come on.
The idea that at this stage of their lives, I mean, what I'm trying to say is he's acting like they've got some wildly dissimilar interest. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's talking about like he's in the Vegas nightclubs. Your dog, she stays in with a cat. You're probably doing something similar. You just don't like her anymore. That's the reality of it. You know, but certainly, it's not your interests that are driving you apart. But here's one. He did mention they don't have any children, and so there is nothing tying them together. Do you think that couples that don't have kids together will inevitably run into a roadblock where things aren't, necessarily as fresh? There's no honeymoon period anymore, and without that external factor that almost bonds you together eternally, people might start to think, "Fuck it, let's move on later down the line."
It's a different dynamic, isn't it? I suppose, having kids. But the thing is, right, they kind of, in a way, would be the same age where maybe if they did have children, their children would have gone away maybe to uni. So they're that in that stage, but just without the children bit. Because then you could turn around and go, "Oh yeah, we've got kids. They've gone to uni. We've got an empty nest. You've got that." They're just basically empty nesters without having anything in the nest. So he's kind of like, "We've got pets."
We don't need a third animal coming into this analogy. We don't need birds leaving nests as well as dogs and cats. But you've done your best there, Twayna Attenborough. She's introducing more animals into it. But overall, how would we say we're resolving this one? Do you think that this relationship is DOA, dead on arrival, or do you think that you can bring it back from the brink?
I think it can be brought back from the brink. If you like her, take her out for dinner. Where's the excitement? If you want excitement, generate the excitement. Book a table for two, Pizza Hut. Take it to the cinema. Take it to the disco. Come on, you could have there's loads you can do. It's not over. Try, and if she still wants to stay in, it's done. Sack it off. Move on.
Agreed. Tell her you can bring the cat. We'll go somewhere where you can bring that cat. McDonald's drive-through. Get the cat some chicken nuggets. Like it's all possible if you care enough.
Sorry, the amount of time I've seen people with cats on leads. Come on, it's like it's not over. Do you know what I mean? It's just take the cat out.
People with cats on leads are a certain breed of person, aren't they?
The worst.
I don't have any time for them. They're people who are clearly not respecting rules of Mother Nature or law. And they're the people that you should just keep an eye on. If this does descend into some Mad Max dystopian future where we're all fighting for our lives, watch for the people with cats on leads. That will quickly turn into lions and tigers on leads, and anyone who comes across their path is in for it. I don't trust them, Twayna. No way. So I think that's one trouble down. Anyway, we're saying it's not necessarily over, but it really comes down to how much you love the person, whether you want to keep giving it a go. Let's move on, Twayna. Read this one to us.
I've started full-time work and it's non-stop. When do I get some time for me? You don't. Anyway, I'm a 23-year-old woman who has recently finished studying for a master's and started working full-time on a graduate scheme. Although I really enjoy my work and my colleagues are lovely, I can't help but think about never having enough time to truly do what I want to do. After the 8 hours I spend at work, an hour and a half of commuting each day, an hour for cooking, another hour for personal hygiene, and then 8 hours for sleep, I don't feel I have any time for anything fulfilling. What? I can't. Anyway, you get it.
I get your vibe. And this is a problem that a lot of people in the modern world will struggle with, finding time for yourself and your own interests, because essentially capitalism means that you have to sell yourself and your work, your labor, to make ends meet, to be able to, survive in this world. However, what I would say immediately, if I did want to come in there and, although I despise the man, to use the reference, like Elon Musk taking a chainsaw to different bureaucracies in the American government, I would say, looking at the way that you've divided up your 24 hours in a day, an hour for personal hygiene is quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you filing under personal hygiene? But I don't think I get an hour for personal hygiene. If you were going to eat into something, make it a 20-minute shower. Do you know what I mean? 20-minute shower, brush your teeth, get out of there. You just earned yourself 40 minutes. An hour for cooking. Ever heard of a microwave? Do you know what I mean? If you're that passionate about things, ding, microchips are ready. I've just finished my 20-minute shower, which has happened at the same time, simultaneously. So now I've just earned an hour and a half. And I feel like one of those knobheads that you see on Instagram going, hey, this is a 24-hour day. I divide my day into two. And because I work so hard, no, you're just a knob. That's what you are. And you've probably got no one that actually likes you or real human relationships. But that's what I do think that they can do. Maybe be a little bit more efficient with the time that they do have. What do you reckon?
I kind of agree. An hour of personal hygiene, I mean, a day, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I don't want to know what you're doing, but I'm like, I am ever so clean. I'm going to say that now. And I can do it. It's about being efficient. It's exactly what you said, Johnny. It's about being efficient. And
you did just have a fly buzzing around you, Twayna, so we don't know if you're ever so clean. But still, sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'll see you in court, Johnny. I'm not having that. This is it. This is the first time. It's the first time. I will not be defamed on this podcast. It's just a fly. I welcome all. No. Also, just like bulk cook one day and a weekend. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of people who are just like mass producing just one meal and they're eating it 7 days a week. Do that, and you can do that on a Saturday morning. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, this is a poor use of your time. But also, like you did say, capitalism, blah, blah, blah. I do agree with that. But also kind of like, the 5-day working week is over and we need to push back against this. No one should be working 5 days a week. Push back. 4 days. You can get it all done in 4 days. Enough with the 5-day week. That's all I'm saying.
Couldn't agree more. 4 days working and 1 day to record your Agony Aunt podcast. That is the way that the world should move forward. That's a model. We are beacons. The only other thing I would also say is this is a genuine issue, which I feel for people when they have this. An hour and a half commuting. The commutes are the killers. It's not just working. Everyone has to work one way or the other. But commuting is a gut punch. When you're having to do it every day, it's bolted on to your working hours. And so potentially as a solution is, could you find any hobbies that you could do whilst commuting? Learning a language, for instance, Duolingo. Would it be too bold to whack out a Casio keyboard and start playing rounds of chopsticks? You know what I mean? Just improve yourself on the commute. I would probably go with that, but I certainly do have sympathy for the problem. Anything else on that one, Twayna? Or are we happy
also,
to move
maybe
on?
just one thing: work from home one day as well. 1 day working from home. You should, if you're working 5 days a week, at least 2 of those days should be allowed to be working from home, unless you're a surgeon.
Yeah, she might work in a pizza restaurant. Do you know what I mean? And she can't, she can't send them in. But maybe in the future we can. I don't think she was on a graduate scheme for that. But there you go. We'll throw it out there. Let's move on. My friend owes me £800, which I lent him to buy a moped. Of course he did. But if I threaten him with legal action, he might set his gang on me. Yeah, I mean, legal action is not going to be a threat to someone who has a gang. That's just in my experience. We got on well when we were in college together, but then he got into a gang, and I know they do all sorts of crazy stuff. His lot are notorious for being the centre of trouble where I live. They have been involved in knife crime and even acid attacks. My mate keeps promising me the money, but I have not seen any of it yet. I really could do with it back, but I know not to push it too far. I'm 22 and he's 20. He's added that on the end. What do you reckon about this one, Twayna?
I think you're not getting your money back. Is what I think. There's too much going on here, Johnny. It's like maybe my advice here is just write off the friendship. Move on. I don't think you're moving in the same circles anymore. You've lent a rogue £800 and you might know him. You might have been friends at one point, great, but it seems that your lives are going in very different directions. So unless you want to incur the wrath of him or his gang, let it go.
I think that's sage advice. In general, as a rule, I will never demand money back from people that have been involved in acid attacks. I draw my lines there. And whilst I say that, if you're worried, always carry around an alkaline, just in case they do give it a large one, and you might be out. We all did GCSE science. You might be able to neutralise that bad boy if you have an alkaline to hand. Just saying. This guy,
pint of milk.
I don't know if that's an alkaline. I think it's more like I'd have to even look at the best alkalines actually, but yeah, milk I don't think would save the day in that situation. You need to neutralise it. But I'll work it out by the end of this little monologue. The reality is as you said, they're moving in different directions. Of course, we know that. First of all, if someone asks you to borrow £800 and it's for a moped, like if someone says, I want to buy a house, that is a concrete asset that is, going to be claimed against in future. A moped, I mean, good heavens, what's the best usage of that money anyway, if it's in the form of a moped? He's a pizza delivery guy? No, he's probably out there jacking phones on the streets. So what I say all that to say, be careful who you get into bed with. Because if someone is telling you what they want it for, and it seems like quite a transient purchase, then you better realise that there might be some risk involved of you ever getting it back. And who the fuck is at college and has £800 to lend a mate as well? I dare say that this person might have, might have some extracurricular employment as well. So I don't know. I'm not too positive about his chances of getting this money back, Twayna.
But he's also gone, like, they're both like young guys. Like the guy that he's lent his to is 20, he's 22, and it's kind of like, you know him, you know that he's not got possibly a legitimate job. So how are you expecting a repayment plan from somebody who does not have a legitimate job, but you're quite happy to lend them nearly £1,000? It's your own fault. Come on, just be sensible about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could suggest Klarna as a repayment plan with this person who's linked to acid and knife attacks. But if they say, I've got the blade on me, bruv, you know what I mean? I don't want to get my blade wetted. Just step back and say, listen, forget about Klarna. It's yours. I'm not going to see you anymore. Yeah.
It's a tax-free gift. Please enjoy it as you will. Exactly. I can't give you any more.
Exactly. Gift aid. Please update your tax. But no, it's do you know what? Underlying all this is a sad reality, and it's a sad situation that is instructive of certain people who we all have met in our lives who go off the rails at an early age, and you can't always save everyone. What I think you need to focus on more is the fact that you want your life to be good, and continuing involvement with someone who is clearly in really, really bad situations only has a potential for bad with regards to you. So whether or not they turn their life around, who knows? You can maybe ask occasionally if they've got the money, but if it keeps going down this way, I would write it off and continuing focusing on self-improvement. How about that? There we go. I think we're smashing through that. 3 troubles shared. Just done, dusted. Twayna, over to you.
I love my boyfriend and I thought he loved me too, but now I think I've been taken for a fool. We've been living together for 3 years and I thought we were splitting all the bills equally down the middle each month. He earns more than me, but I was happy to do this. Yesterday, I found out he owns the flat we've been living in, and what I was paying in rent covers 2/3 of his monthly mortgage payments. He's been feathering his nest in more ways than one, and now all I can think about is revenge. A lot of feathering nests.
There is a very well feathered nest involved in this, isn't there?
What do you reckon, Johnny?
We brought up capitalism. This sounds like the most capitalistic relationship you could. I mean, absolutely leeching off of this woman. I mean, goodness, it's. I mean, I've assumed it's a woman anyway, but the reality is this is not a sustainable model for any relationship. You not only have you stepped up and tried to, outperform your own earnings as opposed to his in terms of contributions to the relationship, But then to find out that you're basically paying off his asset at a disproportionate rate is absolutely outrageous. And what it really is, I mean, there's two parts to this. There's the initial betrayal, which it is a betrayal, not him not explaining this to you, which would be very, very hard to stomach and rationalize. But then there's the final line there, Twayna, which is all I can think about is revenge. So this isn't someone who's willing to turn the other cheek. This is someone who is willing to, shit in someone's coffee to feel like there's your mortgage payments. You know what I mean? So I like the aspect of thinking about what could be a potential revenge, a proportionate revenge action, but overall, the relationship seems completely just a mess, quite frankly. I don't know how you could trust someone or be with someone who thinks that would be a reasonable relationship to engage with.
I hope that they get their revenge. I'm saying they because we don't know if it's a man or a woman. It's 2025, Johnny. We're not, not going to be Victorian about this. Take them to the small claims court. Basically, you've been a lodger. Basically, they've treated you like a lodger. You've been living with your landlord. You thought you were living with your partner, but you've been living with your landlord and paying off their mortgage.
And you've been shagging him.
You've been shagging
your landlord.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been. So you might not have been all bad, but obviously you want financial reparations. And small claims court, take them to court, win that money back, or get your name on the mortgage thing. You could own that. You could claim back on that as an asset.
Well, there's no way that landlord's letting that happen, though, because ultimately, and even the small claims court, I think you'd do very well to get anything out of that, because you were in a relationship at the time, and they basically it would be you said that you didn't know about it, and he said, oh yeah, she knew or he knew that I own the property. You wouldn't have much chance of getting it back. Your only real chance of getting some kind of get back is going to be revenge. And yeah, because as I say, you have been shagging your landlord without even realizing. No one wants to shag their landlord. That's the worst part of it. Do you know, shagging the landlord? They're usually slow to fix things around the gaff. You know what I mean? And then you're there giving it up at the end of the night. No one wants that. And probably this guy was probably there going, oh, this landlord's really late, late fixing our issue, isn't it? Oh, no. When's that sink getting fixed? Oh, just invented a fictional character, a Dickensian landlord who's oh, Mr. Von Dickens never actually sorts this flat out. And it's
like Mr. Papadopoulos, isn't it? In EastEnders, you never actually see this person. It's just a series of pranks then. I think that you just have to get him back over time, sugar in the old gas tank of the car, puncture stuff, put some fish behind a radiator, all of that kind of stuff. Cut up his clothes, set fire to stuff, not the building, or just clothes, set fire to clothes, because I don't think you can get done for arson for that if you do it in the garden, just that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
sugar everywhere, just leave food everywhere, just be a nuisance.
And as a podcast, we're happy to put our name to that. You won't be able to. You'll be back in small claims court. You will not be able to get up. What our overall advice is: your flat or wherever you're living should be like the fucking Home Alone house until you leave this guy, and he deserves it. Yeah. Right, moving on. Another trouble down. I sleep talk when worried, and lately my girlfriend says I'm doing it at night. I'm 26 and she is 23. I'm really anxious about money. For now, we can just about cover bills, but if prices keep rising, we won't be able to. Recently, my girlfriend has started talking about having a family. She wants lots of children, but every time she mentions it, I begin to panic inside. I'm so worried that if I tell her now how I'm feeling, she'll leave and meet someone else. All this is constantly going around in my head. Twayna, seems like a legit trouble. What you saying?
Just talk to her, pal. It'll be all right. Stop talking in your sleep and just explain the situation. She'll understand. if she's a reasonable person. If she's not reasonable, get rid of her. Simple as that.
That's one way of going about it. Seems a little bit too sensible for my liking. Let's go with the information you've provided, sir. I talk in my sleep, and she's used to that. So have your conversation with her whilst pretending to be asleep. Yeah, I mean, you could be really coherent. I'm really worried about financial troubles. I'm never going to be able to afford a family with you. Please don't leave me. Jason, are you sleeping? Yeah. Just start snoring, you know what I mean? And you're magic, good as gold, and you'll see by her reaction how she can live with it. But look, we mentioned it in the pod already. The reality is the modern world that we all live in is just rife with problems and stresses. Trying to keep the lights on is no foregone conclusion. We know about the cost of living crisis, but this is a real thing that a lot of people face these days. And I really feel like, your relationship has to be able to weather all sorts of storms, including economic storms and whatnot. And if someone ultimately is not able to understand the stresses that you've got, and they haven't told us that they're out partying every night or losing all their money in the casino. If you're just not earning enough and you're struggling, then if they can't support you in this, I'd hate to say it, but it's probably the relationship that needs to change, rather than, i.e., get a new partner, rather than you, because financial problems will keep coming, but you've got to know that you're with a partner who's going to support you. Anything else on that one, Twayna?
No, I think you took it seriously, and you gave it the respect that it deserved. Thank you, Johnny, for being here.
And tied it all up in a bow by put that point across whilst pretending to be asleep. So also, a little bit of yin and yang.
But also slagging off capitalism as well. Well, not slagging it, being honest about what it is. It's ruining us all.
Yeah,
people's everyday lives.
Everyone is feeling that pressure, aren't they? These are ones I love all the troubles we get, but ones like this, I do genuinely feel for real people. That it's not easy out there. But the one thing that helped me in relationships I had was when I stopped treating my partners as rivals, and they were meant to be my, support. They are people I would cooperate with, rather than try to, get one over on, or try to pretend I was either better than, or, better than what I am in some aspects. And once I did, then at least I could feel comfortable that I was being truthful. Living lies is so exhausting, and that's the one thing I would advise anyone against. So pretending you're a big timer, a big time Charlie who can cover all the bills and stuff. Yeah, let's pop the kids out. No, having kids is expensive and hard. And if you're having stress now, mate, you ain't gonna get you won't be getting sleep to be talking in when you've got kids. Trust me, you'll be having a shit time. So make sure she's the right one for you. Explain it and see how she reacts. There we go, Twayna. We're smashing these troubles. Final trouble. This one is a juicy one by all accounts.
I am 60 and I have been in a long-term relationship with my partner for more than 20 years. We have been extremely unhappy for a number of years. Our relationship has frequent conflicts over small things. When we disagree on something, I am blamed for my stubbornness or lack of empathy. Innocuous exchanges can turn into confrontations that end frequently with my partner blaming my behaviour. I have been described as moody, insensitive, immature and condescending. I've been told on a number of occasions that I drag us down. I tried to discuss the issues with her, writing emails explaining my feelings, but I've rarely received a reply. That's a problem. We'll carry on. I proposed couples counselling. We attended 4 or 5 sessions, and when I thought we were moving in the right direction, my partner asked to stop. When I asked why she didn't want to continue, she said I was looking for a third person to validate my points. That's another problem. I'll continue. Confrontations go on for hours. My partner never steps back, even when I will tell her she's hurting me. I decided some time ago to try to diffuse the conflict by leaving the room when I saw where the discussion was heading. I've been told that by leaving the room I was running away. Another problem. I'll continue. Last paragraph. I know I have my shortcomings. I've explained that if she has reached the conclusion that I am not the right person for her, we can end the relationship. She has never agreed to move in that direction. I feel stuck in a relationship that doesn't fulfill either partner. Any advice on how to move forward would be really appreciated. Over to you, Johnny.
Well, one thing you really pointed out there, and it helps our audio listeners, is you flagged a lot of the problems as we went through there, Twayna, and there was a lot. So this guy's 60,
Yeah.
or do we know it's a guy? We don't even know, but
No.
this person's, let's call him a guy just to make things easier. This guy's 60 and with a partner for over 20 years, so we're not talking about flings here. And the problems that emerge after over 20 years, they are legit problems. They are not things where it's like, oh, you left the toilet seat up. It's like when someone reads off and you go, hey, describe me in 3 words. And they go, yeah, easy, moody, insensitive, immature. Can I do a bonus? Condescending. Then that's probably give. Oh, any good ones in there? You know, you should probably understand that there's a little bit of resentment coming from your partner there. The one you rightly flagged up straight away was this little bit. I tried to discuss the issues with her, writing emails explaining my feelings. What the fuck is what? You know, because that sums up the immature and condescending bit in one go, doesn't it? Who's having rounds with people going, sorry, wait there a second, just tapping away on their keyboard, send, I'll expect and reply, I flagged it as urgent. You know, what an absolute weirdo. Emails. I mean, I understand about writing letters back in the day, but it sounds like your partner is looking for a more immediate resolution to conflict rather than fucking getting lost in the junk folder.
But also, like you sitting there and being obviously pissed off about a situation and leaving the room and penning an email. Dearest Sue, I am emailing you from the other room because I was unhappy about the way that you said I spoke to you at breakfast. Please reply.
Many thanks, Johnny.
Yeah. Send.
That automatic signature in there.
Yeah.
4-star reviews, 5 stars.
Yeah.
Now, the other part, I proposed couple counselling, and we attended 5 sessions. And the partner asked to stop because she said he was looking for a third person to validate his points. Well, to a certain extent, this is one because it's not all him. Again, if we call it a him and a her, because that is somewhat why we all go to therapy. We need a third person to add some objectivity to situations that you might be wrong on. But having someone who understands it and says, no, have you thought about thinking it about this way? That adds, a little bit of objectivity to help resolve things. So what's your partner? It sounds a little bit in that bit where you're dealing with someone who really doesn't like to be, told anything or told that they're wrong as well. Because it sounds like the therapist probably did flag up some of those things and say, yeah, he's got a point here. So did you get that vibe as well?
I did get that vibe. It sounds like I'm siding with the person who's written in a bit here, even though, because he's the only person that we know because they've written in. So I'm siding with them. This sounds like this is quite a difficult relationship, to be honest. It sounds like they're not communicating very well. Email is, I mean, it's a lot better than a a normal conventional letter, which is good. It's a lot more efficient, but no partners really are communicating by email to each other to sort of flag up. You sit around the table and you chat. You go for a walk and you have a chat, but correspondence is not how you do it really. So I feel they've just hit a bump in the road. The counselling sounds like it could be working, but it sounds like this sounds like this relationship is at its end for me.
It's interesting, and I agree with a lot of what you're coming to anyway. But do you also think this might get into a bigger thing? This person's 60. You have to start probably factoring in the idea that the doors are closing at that point. And I'm not saying they should. Everyone, has different approaches to life. But obviously, when you're trying to get involved and get new partners, when you've been with someone for over 20 years, the thought of getting back out there and trying to start again probably leads a lot of people to keep throwing bad money after good. Do you think that might be what's happening here rather than, the relationship being worth saving? They're just scared to go back at it.
I think it sounds like it possibly could be that from the partner's side, which is why they're sticking with whatever it is, even though it doesn't sound like it's fun for anybody. I also think maybe, but like this person, I don't know why he's asking this, like the partner he's not having a great time with, for permission in a way to break, like saying, if you don't like me, break up with me. It's like, just, you're not enjoying it, just leave. Like, don't be, like, no one's keeping you in this. You're not having a great time. Like, you're emailing each other, you're going to counselling. Counselling's the great bit. Emailing's not great, to be honest. You're doing a lot of weird stuff. Every time you seem to leave a room, you get in trouble. Every time you're in a room, you seem to get in trouble. You're like, get out of the whole thing, mate. It's not working. It's over. Get your stuff. There's plenty of fish in the sea for a 60-year-old. There is. You've still got time. Could be alive for another 25 years. Get out of there, mate. Sow your wild oat.
Exactly. Pack your shit up. Get your laptop. You've got plenty more emails to send. Let's be real. Not even the plenty of fish in the sea adage, it fits. It's plenty more emails to send out there. Wonder if this guy whacks on some attachments onto those emails as well. As an appendix for all his points.
Here is a picture of a saucer.
Exactly. This is what you left on the side.
Yeah.
And just last thing I was thinking, but ultimately, he has said, if you think I'm not the right person, we can end the relationship. So it seems like he is certainly willing to countenance the idea of life without her, but she's the one hanging on. And just on that final point, it's just like, I think you can end up with partners where they deep down they know it's not right, but they're just not willing to call it a day. So you get trapped in this eternal cycle of, having a go at each other and conflict, which is exhausting for everyone, right? So do you think it is just that other partner who just can't deal with the reality or doesn't want to get back out there, as it were?
I think he's giving it a bit too much respect. Not like in a disrespect, like he's just giving it a bit too much respect. It's like, I'm trying to save this thing and they're pushing back against it being saved. And it's just like, well, give up. If you don't want me, let me go. It's like, it's not a rom-com. Just let yourself go and just go.
If you don't want me, let me go. Twayna Mayne is about to come out with a Motown album. I love that as a start of a song. Fantastic. I think we've wrapped it up for that person. You can't get better advice than that, can you, Twayna? And that brings us to the end of the third A Trouble Shared episode. Thank you to everyone who's listening to this. Do tell your friends if you're enjoying it. If you think we're getting onto something, spread it. Spread the word far and wide. We like doing them. Hopefully you're enjoying them. And as I say, we're just solving everyone's trouble so they don't have to. Twayna, anything else to add before we wrap it up?
No, Johnny, I'm going to get rid of the fly now. Smash everything up and find what this fly's doing. Get out. You're embarrassing me on the internet. Johnny alluded to me being a dirty bugger. Can't have that. See you in court, Johnny.
Love it. Okay, people. Well, thanks for tuning in. And as they say, a trouble shared is a trouble halved or something like that. See you next time. Bye-bye.